Hey, gang, you're in the darkened room.
Yeah, that's right. And we have merch now. Check it out. Link is in the description. We have t-shirts. We have hoodies.
Yeah, put us on your body.
Damn straight. And also hit the like button. Hitting the like button will help out the YouTube algorithm recommend our videos to people that may not have heard of us yet. So it'll help us grow.
Yeah, and leave your comments and suggestions. We have a lot of ground to cover on this channel, but we're always looking for topics and stuff that you want to hear about. Mm-hmm. So drop us a line. We read everything that you send.
That's right. And share with your friends. If your friends haven't heard of us either, send them a link. And, of course, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That way you can know when we release new videos.
Exactly.
Yeah, social media links are down in the description as well. We're all over Instagram and Twitter. We also are going to start doing live streams on Instagram, so you can be notified as to when we do those.
Awesome.
All right, so let's press play. Hello and welcome to the darkened room of music conversation.
I'm Darren.
And I'm Chris. And on this episode, we're going to rank the Killers' albums.
Awesome. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is something we're going to start doing periodically. Yeah. We're going to pick a band and we're going to listen to all of their albums beginning to end. And then we're going to rank them. And Darren and I each will reveal our picks from however many albums there are up to number one.
Right. And in this case, we're going to do 6 albums. They have 6 studio albums. Mm-hmm. They have one like greatest hits compilation. We didn't do that one.
And they have one that's like a holiday record as well.
A holiday record. They got one that's the B-sides. It had a couple of new songs. Sawdust was the name of that. We're not going to mess with that one either.
Yeah, so official album releases is what we're ranking here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the Killers, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with them. Mr. Brightside was a huge top 40 hit.
Yes.
I think it was even in the top 10.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were formed in Las Vegas in 2001, so they've been around for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Brandon Flowers, lead singer, and Dave Kooning, the guitarist, they're the ones that actually formed the band first, and then the other members joined along. And they got their name. Do you know how they got their name?
I know nothing about their history.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I only found this out recently doing the research for this episode. Yeah. They actually got it from a logo on the bass drum of a fictitious band. It was the music video for the New Order song Crystal.
Interesting.
And in that, there's a fake band, and they're apparently called the Killers.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can see it on the bass drum. So that's how they got their name.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
That is.
All right, so I guess we should get into the list.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Why don't you kick us off?
I will kick us off. All right.
Your number 6.
My number 6 is their most recent release, Imploding the Mirage.
Okay.
That was released in 2020, a year ago. I did not like it as well as all of their other albums. Now, Dave Kooning, the guitarist, left the band at this point.
Right.
He went on a hiatus, and the rest of them just went ahead and recorded an album. And I think you can really tell. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to have the same edge to it. The songs are pretty good. I mean, I like My Own Soul's Warning. I think it's a great song.
Yep.
But as a whole, nothing jumped out at me and wowed me on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my number 6.
Okay, and I disagree, but we'll get to that later.
That's fine. That's fine.
My number 6 is the album that was right before that one, Wonderful, Wonderful. That was the one that I picked as my least favorite.
Okay.
And I've got some notes on all of this stuff, so I'll just kind of read.
Shoot them off, yeah.
A couple of things here. Musically, the very first song on there reminded me totally of U2. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I did is, as I listened to this, and I didn't look it up, I didn't cheat. Once again, I know nothing about the band's history.
Right.
I started to think, well, what influenced this stuff? Mm-hmm. Because I really am into that.
Right.
And I heard, the bands that I listed that I heard an influence of was U2, David Bowie, the Talking Heads, what's the band that predated New Order? Joy Division.
Joy Division, yep.
Yeah, those were the ones that kind of were at the top of influences that I heard.
Right.
So on this album, it opens with, I guess it's the song "Wonderful, Wonderful," right? Mm-hmm. I thought that it was very U2 sounding. Yeah. I liked it. Very modern. I've got a check mark by a song called "The Man." I thought it was a great song with a great vibe. What else did I write about it? A great dance feel, and it had almost like a disco edge, but in a very cool way. I don't mean that as a put down.
Right.
And then there's songs on there that just kind of bored me, like Rut. I just thought it was just slow and boring. It didn't really go anywhere for me personally.
Yeah.
But then the song Run for Cover, I've got that listed as one that had kind of a weekend kind of sound.
Yeah.
And I really liked that because it was kind of different for them.
Yeah.
What else do I have here? And I found this interesting. There's a couple of boxing references in some of the songs.
There are.
There was the Tyson versus Douglas, which was about the title fight in 1990 when Mike Tyson lost for the first time. So that's an interesting concept. He mentions Sonny Liston, an old boxer from the 60s that Muhammad Ali took the title from in another song on Run for Cover.
Yeah.
So there's some new wave moments in there that's kind of like the Cars that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But overall, the album just didn't kill me. I just didn't think the number of songs that I enjoy.
No pun intended.
Exactly.
Kill you, yeah.
I just didn't like it as much as some of the other ones.
Okay,
so
all right.
That's my number 6.
Right. Okay, so moving on to my number 5.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say that I don't dislike these at all.
Me either.
Because Imploding the Mirage was number 6 for me doesn't mean that I dislike it.
Yeah.
I think they're all great.
Me too.
And as some of them, it was kind of hard for me to place where I wanted them to.
Well, a lot of it's stylistically very similar.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, that being said, my number 5 is Day and Age, which came out in 2008. I thought the song Human, there's been controversy over that lyric. Are we human or are we dancer?
Yeah.
You know, that threw off a lot of people. And Brandon Flowers actually got annoyed that people couldn't figure out what that meant. But I'll let you find out on your own. Because that song may mean something different to you than I won't spoil it for you.
Right.
But yeah, this one was good. But again, like the other one, I just didn't think it didn't wow me as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, we've been accused of agreeing about everything. So this is going to be one of those episodes that we don't agree very much. It sounds like.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's okay.
It's about time, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right. Is that all you had to say about that?
That's really all I had to say.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we're going to go to my number 5. My number 5 is actually Battleborn.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's what's interesting about that. First of all, I'm going to say what I like about the record.
Okay.
I think it has their best use of keyboards. And what I mean by that, a lot of their stuff can sound really muddy because it's like everything's in the same like range and it's like it's fighting to be heard.
Yeah.
This album, they really cleaned that up. Sonically, I liked it. The songs that I like off this album, there's numerous songs I really like. But the songs that I don't like are just duds to me.
Yeah.
So I'll highlight the stuff that I like. I really like Runaway? I love the organ sound in that.
Yeah.
I mean, the organic sound of it. It's got powerful sections. Once again, it reminds me kind of the way it explodes. It's kind of like Beautiful Day by U2.
Right.
I really love that. The way it was is very different for them. It's almost like a power pop song, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I could almost hear like Robin Zander singing that song.
Yeah.
So, once again, these songs are very different in the context of their catalog. Matter of Time, it's heavier, it's dark. I like the production. Once again, I love the keyboards. The Miss Atomic Bond. That song's okay.
Yeah.
But it's once again one of those kind of slower songs. I don't like their slow songs a lot. I think that's one of the things that I when I absorb their whole catalog. To me, it's almost like when the Red Hot Chili Peppers do slow songs. It's like, come on.
It almost like doesn't work for them.
Right.
Even though Under the Bridge was a huge hit. But anyway,
he doesn't have a ballad
your
voice,
point.
you know?
Yeah, totally.
But from here on out, I love the slide guitar on that song. It sounds, more like organic power pop type stuff that I tend to like. The album, though, I think ends on a really down note. Like the last 3 or 4 songs are just yawn city to me.
Yeah.
But having said that, from here on out, Matter of Time, The Way It Was, those are some of my favorite songs, probably in my top 10 of all their songs. So I'm not downing it. I'm just saying as a whole.
As a whole album, right. And that's what this is about, absolutely.
Right.
All right, so let's move on to my number 4.
Okay.
And speaking of the last songs of the album being yawners, I think that's the case for Hot Fuss of 2004.
Okay.
When we started this project, I thought for sure Hot Fuss is going to be my number one. That's the one I'm the most familiar with. I love the first 5 tracks on it. Like, that whole album's got to be strong. I remember listening to it when it was out several times. But
well, you introduced me to it, to them.
Yeah. I remember that, But a second listen, years later, it's like the remaining tracks after those first 5 just I don't know. I don't like the sound of the album either. After hearing all these other albums and the production, how clean they sound.
Right.
This one is, you mentioned muddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one has that sound.
Right.
It's just not as good, but strong songs for the first 5.
Yes.
Jenny was a friend of mine, and of course, this is the one that has Mr. Brightside on it, the one that most people would be familiar with. And somebody told me was a huge
and that's the
modern
first
rock.
That's the first song you ever played for me.
I did, because I just loved that keyboard part. I thought it was so unique.
Yeah,
I love "Smile Like You Mean It." I love all these things that I've done. Yeah, but after that, it just seems it gets boring to me. Yeah, and that everything will be all right. I mean, it's a cool concept, but it goes on for way too long.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So. That's why it's in my number 4, because I love the first 5 tracks, but the rest of it was kind of,
Right.
Yeah.
I understand.
There you go.
All right. Well, my number 4 is that right? 6, 5, 4. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. My number 4 is Sam's Town. Once again.
Okay.
I know we're disagreeing here.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
We didn't see each other's list before we did this.
Right.
I've got a lot of notes about this, so bear with me.
Yeah.
And that's how I did this, because it's been a long time since I absorbed these albums.
Right.
And I actually had a marathon. I sat down and I listened to everything all the way through in order the way that they were released.
I did the same, but I spread it over 2 days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done I won't need to listen to them for a while. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right. So I like the keyboards on Sam's Town. It's a very dark album.
Yeah.
Typically, I'm drawn to dark albums, and this is still pretty high on my list. I mean, it's number 4. There's less of a dancey vibe on this album compared to a lot of their other stuff.
Yeah.
When You Were Young, I really like that song a lot. I love that song. It's just got, such a cool, once again, a U2 influence that I love. When I say they're influenced by U2, it's more like just the vibe of the songs, not so much like they're ripping off this song.
Right.
So I don't want to have anything in the comments or like, they don't sound anything like U2.
Right.
Let's see, Bling. Once again, the tempo of it reminds me very much of U2. And I really like it. For Reasons Unknown, that was a single. That song's kind of boring to me. I don't know why. I never warmed up to that one.
Yeah.
Read My Mind, I really, really like. I've got that listed as one of my favorites. Uncle James, I think the riff rock intro, very different from them. You don't hear that much in their catalog at all.
Right, yeah.
So I like that. And Bones. It's really good. I think that's a great song.
Yeah.
So, once again, it's a darker album, which they kind of have a dark sound, but this one goes into some really dark territory.
Yeah.
It's my number 4.
Okay, all right. All right, so my number 3 is Battleborn.
Okay.
Now, I actually really loved the feel of this album. Runaways, like you said, that's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
But I detected, a sadness all through this album, like a feeling of regret and remorse. And
that's interesting because I had more of that feel on Sam's Town.
Did you really?
Yeah. That one to me was the most depressing one.
Yeah. But I really loved the feel of this album. Not all of the songs were consistently strong for me.
Right.
So that's why it's number 3. But I loved the kind of the down mood of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and I think that's kind of a criticism. No offense to them at all, because I do really like the band.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think they. Well, as we get closer to the top, I'll have my opinion. But I don't think they've made too many really strong albums all the way through.
Yeah.
There's some duds in all of their records. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
go on to your number 3.
My number 3 is, believe it or not, Imploding the Mirage. And I'll tell you what I liked about that album.
Okay.
a lot of things I liked about that album.
All right.
And I understand that the guitar player left and all that. I read that whole backstory.
Yeah.
What I like about it, I just love a lot of the songs. My Own Soul's Warning, it's a pretty good opening track. Yeah. One thing about their opening tracks, I thought about this. It's almost like the opening credits to a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, hey, come on in. Let me ease you into this world of this album.
Yeah.
They kind of try to set the mood for you. And I think that opening track does a really good job on that.
Yeah.
Blowback, vintage UK pop. There's a lot of, like, sometimes I hear like the Smiths type vocals in some of their stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's got a nice George Harrison kind of guitar part in there, which is cool with me. And I can't read my own writing. It's a song called Caution. Finally a single with some good energy. And it's been a while since they had one of those. Like cool guitar parts. Kind of reminded me of the first album a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
I did really love that song.
I think that song is spectacular.
Yeah.
Lightning Fields, I thought was pretty cool. It's kind of different and unexpected in this album. It kind of hit me just in the right way, especially where it was placed in the album.
Yeah.
Fire and Bone, a great start with the drums and everything. And the way it kind of chugs along totally reminds me of Talking Heads.
Yeah.
Like when I heard that, I'm like, this could be a Talking Head song. And I don't know if too many people hear the Talking Heads influence in their stuff. I hear it.
Yeah.
And then what do we got here? My God, it's so U2, it's not even funny. Imploding the Mirage. Okay, this is what I've been waiting to say this whole episode. One of the problems for me is I think all their albums kind of end on the same downtrodden feel.
Yeah.
Finally, they had a song that ended the album that was a little bit more uplifting and a little bit more energetic, and I like that. And that's one of my main criticisms about the band is once you get past the first 6 or 7 songs, it's kind of like, do I want to hang in here to hear the rest of this? I get kind of bored with it.
Yeah. That's how I felt about Hot Fuss.
Yeah. And I feel that way about a lot of their albums.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way about this one. It had a little bit more of a freshness to me, and maybe it was because the guitar player is no longer in the picture. Maybe they picked up some new directions or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is my number 3.
Okay, all right. So I'm at my number 2, so that means here comes the disagreements. Let's put the boxing gloves on. Darren versus Chris.
No.
Just like Tyson versus Douglas. That's on this album.
Good one.
Wonderful was number 2. I don't know why. When I listened to this album, I'd heard The Man.
Yeah.
And I think I'd heard Run to Cover, but I hadn't heard the rest of it. And I don't know, it just hit me just right when I listened to it.
Gotcha.
I really loved the feel of it. And as I was listening to it, I was trying to pick out a theme, and I thought I kind of had my theory, but then I looked it up, and then it made sense. Brandon Flowers said that he wrote this song, all these songs about what it takes or what is required of you, what you have to do to be a man.
Yeah.
Which, The Man, of course, that one's kind of obvious, but all of these songs kind of point to that theme.
Gotcha.
And that made me like it even more.
Yeah. And once again, and you said this, I like all these albums.
Yeah.
I truly do. Who knows? Maybe down the road, some of these interchange with where I placed them.
Yeah, exactly. Like Hot Fuss did with me. I'm going back to Hot Fuss again a lot because I'm surprised I didn't like it more now that I did then.
Understandable.
Yeah.
So once again, my number 2, different from Chris's, is Day and Age.
Okay.
My first impression is it kind of picked up where Hot Fuss kind of left off as far as stylistically goes. Human, I've got written down that it's once again kind of a YouTube vibe, the Beautiful Day era. What was the name of that album? Something about a mom.
Something about leaving behind no, that was one of the songs.
Yeah, All That You Can't
Leave Behind. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Spaceman, one of my favorite songs in their entire discography.
It is a great song, yeah.
And I think it's so different. I love the chant vocal that's in the intro. It's got a great tempo. I think it's got one of his best vocals that he ever did. That's another thing. If it is a criticism, I think he sings kind of in the same style a little too much.
Yeah.
It kind of gets kind of like that Coldplay kind of feel after a while. Coldplay, another band, started out really energetic. Their first album has a lot of energy on it, and then they've kind of morphed into this like mid-tempo U2.
That's true.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid we're going to lose the Killers to that. I see some of that going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, Spaceman is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Joyride, I think that's really a cool song. Once again, every now and then they get into that kind of like disco-y, dancey vibe.
Yeah.
And I love it when they do that. I really do. It kind of stands out as something different.
Yeah.
Dustland Fairy Tale, once again, it's just kind of boring. I don't know, mundane. Doesn't really do anything for me. Another one of my favorite songs is This Is Your Life. I love that one.
Yeah.
It's got the talking heads kind of vibe, and it's got pop sensibilities that I don't hear that often in their stuff.
Yeah.
I Can't Stay. It's got some cool acoustic guitar. I like the production in that a lot. And The World We Live In, I think it's pretty good. Good Night, Travel Well, very David Bowie sounding. And the atmosphere and the influence is really dark. Once again, the album does kind of peter out near the end of the album.
Yeah.
And it's a common theme, in my opinion, in their catalog.
Okay.
But it's my number 2 overall. The songs that I like are way up there. Like I said, 2 of my favorite songs ever on this record.
Okay. All right. Okay, time for my number 1, and it's probably no surprise now because there's only one left. Sam's Town. Sam's Town is my favorite album by them, and it was after I looked up kind of what the theme was. When I first listened to it, the opening track, Sam's Town, you mentioned this about how their track 1 seemed to be like, welcome, come on in.
Yeah, opening credit song.
Opening credit song. This Sam's Town, the song, is the epitome of that. It's like, it feels like the opening to like Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was expecting. And of course the interlude right after that it said welcome in, we hope you enjoy your stay kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So what are they going to do here? Are they going to like go through like different members of the city and like tell each of an individual story? I was starting to think maybe that was it.
Yeah.
But it turns out that this is all about Brandon Flowers. When he was living in Las Vegas growing up, from his bedroom window as a kid, he could see the casino Sam's Town from his window.
Right.
All of these songs are about his life and his experiences from childhood up to the point that he wrote the songs for this album.
Interesting. I like how you delved into what the concept of these individual albums.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
You know.
And that might be a difference between us. You know, I'm really into concepts and the feel of an album.
Right.
And, you know, the way the lyrics are portrayed, it just the feelings of it. I mean, For Reasons Unknown would be one of those. I just love the feel of that song. And Read My Mind, like you said, is one of my favorite Killers songs.
Yeah.
And I love Bones as well, which I think those were singles.
Yes.
So
but they're all
because
good.
I'm more familiar with those, but yeah, I was really, really surprised that I liked this album as much as I did.
And did you agree with what I said about the keyboard sound on that record? It seemed like the production on that record is really, really good and really, really focused.
Yeah.
And that stood out to me.
I think that's what drew me into it.
Right.
Yeah, because after being disappointed with the Listen to Hot Fuss, this one just like, it was like taking earmuffs off or something.
Right.
You know, it was just so much better sounding and better feeling too.
Right. And to me, it lost the energy.
Yeah.
So it's
but you know, that's a difference between you and me.
Yeah.
You do like the power pop kind of stuff.
Right.
And I like the feels, you know, the songs that have, I like it when it slow down a little bit.
Yeah, you like the more dramatic stuff.
Exactly right. And this felt like a dramatic album to me. So
right.
So yeah, that's why it's my number 1.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Right.
And good review on that. I like what you said. Thanks. I agreed with everything that you said. Well, I'm the lame one who picked Hot Fuss as his favorite. I think that the record has energy that's not present in any other catalog. I will totally concede the point. It's their worst sounding record.
Yeah.
It's their worst mixed record. It's their worst mastered record. I'll concede all that.
Yeah.
But come on, man. Mr. Brightside. Somebody Told Me is just, man, that was my introduction to them. I think that song kicks ass.
I love those songs.
I absolutely love it. All the Things I've Done. I love the way that kind of starts with like that Elton John piano kind of feel.
Yeah,
it's very dynamic, and that's another thing. I don't hear a lot of dynamics in a lot of their stuff. And that's, I'm not criticizing them. It's their style. They have a certain style. This is what they do.
Right.
And then, I totally agree with you. There's moments on this record that's pretty boring.
Yeah.
I will totally concede that point. I do like, Midnight Show. I think that's really cool.
That one's not bad.
Everything Will Be All Right. I actually like that closing song.
Yeah.
And it's got really, great atmospherics, the end of the record.
Yeah, and I will concede, it does work well as a closing track. I think it's too long.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to stretch it out beyond 6 minutes like that.
Right. I think they were just kind of trying to show that they had a little bit more depth to what they do. And one of the things we've talked about this, and I'm not sure we talked about it on the show, but I'm telling you, go back and listen to records from the 80s, the 70s, whatever. The future of music is always hinted at by the last song on the album. Because the song that doesn't fit in, they stick it at the end. Always.
Yeah.
And I've heard, time after time I've seen, the last track on an album be the one that just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Right, yeah.
And but I like Hot Fuss. I think it had an energy that they've never equaled. And, you have your whole life to write your first record. You got 6 months to write your second one. And I think that some of that is obvious in what they did with Hot Fuss, but I like it, and this has been fun, and I mean this. I'm glad we disagreed.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
because
it actually kind of gave us more to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris has said this. I've said it over and over. I love this band. I'm not sure they've ever made the best record they're capable of making. So who knows? Their best stuff may be ahead of us.
Maybe so. Yeah. Hopefully the guitarist will come back. And, because it did. What I read did say he was just on hiatus. It's not like he left the band.
Yeah.
So they may reunite again. And
they probably will.
The best album they've ever made. So we'll wait and see. What about you? What's your favorite Killers album? Let us know in the comments. Drop it down below. Okay, trivia time. And this time, the old DVD, Name That Tune.
All right.
We're going to name the group that we see on the video with no sound. So we won't have any assistance on that.
And we do 3.
We do 3 of them. So here's the first one. Here is Name That Group. Here we go.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Put your thinking cap on.
Sometimes we get stumped on this. Rick James.
Rick James. This was easy.
Yeah. That's why we do 3, because we hope one of the 3 will be a little more challenging.
That's exactly
right. And we've
right.
missed some. So, yeah.
Ironically, too, that, the last episode was about Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time that he produced.
And here we are.
So here we are.
Looks like he's having a blast right here.
I think so, yeah.
It was fun to be Rick James.
It was, yeah. But cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yes, it is.
All right, second video. Here we go.
All right.
First one was easy. Give us a challenge now. Come on.
That's Wang Chung.
That is Wang Chung, and I believe that's from Dance Hall Days.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I actually like that song a lot.
I love that song.
Yeah. It's got, just such a great feel. I liked it probably better than any of their other stuff.
Yeah.
If that's what it is. It looks like they're jamming. Is that? Yeah, I think that is Dance Hall Days.
That is Dance Hall Days. Yeah. I saw him mouthing the words just a second ago. Yeah.
I'm not real good at reading lips.
Yeah. But that's my favorite song by them.
I agree.
By far. I like them better than the others.
Now, I did like To Live and Die in L.A.
That was good.
And
that was very good.
That would make the list of ones you don't hear that much.
That's right.
You hear Everybody Have Fun Tonight and Dance All Days, but you don't hear that one that much.
There you go.
That was a cool song.
All right, let's just go right into the next one.
We're 2 for 2, man. We're getting
2
warming
for 2.
up on
These are easy, yeah.
All right, here's the third one.
All right. Okay, I know this. This is this ABC?
This is early 80s. This is like 82.
I think this is ABC.
Be Near Me?
No, it's not Be Near Me. It's
Shoot
like
That
Shoot
Poison
That Poison Arrow. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Poison Arrow.
Because they did that in the video.
Yep.
That's totally that video.
I like that song, and I actually like that band a whole hell of a lot.
Oh, yeah. They're great. They're very underrated.
Very underrated and way better than you think they would be.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, so, ABC's cool.
All right, so there you go. We got some easy ones that time.
Yeah, 3 for 3.
The third one was easy for me.
That's the first time we got all 3 of them.
That's true, yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for this episode. We'll be back again with another one very soon. Take care.